upcoming match here. Geek Fam and Ownage not too far from each other in terms of standings here. This is going to be one of the closer ones, and both of them look to enter into the safety bracket of the playoffs. How do you think this is going to turn out here?
As you've said, they both of the teams, they're fighting for their tournament life here. Because if Geek Fam loses, they're in a very critical spot wherein all of their teams should mess up so that they can safely say that they're safe to be on the playoffs. And Ownage, if they lose here, they might not get the chance to take a victory on their next opponent.
Is it safe to say that these guys, both of these teams, are living on a prayer
exactly.
at the moment?
Yes,
living on a prayer.
They are living on a prayer right here.
I think
right
they need to be
now
praying
watching.
to the patron saint of
Every single
ML
time,
there.
right? Whenever Tay is here.
Because she's just like lights up everything. And the funny thing is, she's the shortest among everybody here. So we're kind of just like, instead of, normally when you think of somebody like, bright lights, but it's like, oh, there you are.
You're officially the shortest one here.
Yes, that's right. I'm claiming it because they're the ones gonna pray for me because the light's with me.
Yeah.
So
You're like the divine, our oracle for today.
Yeah,
And if I'm not mistaken, Say actually hasn't missed a prediction today.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think
yeah.
you've made
Yeah,
everything
that's
correct.
right.
We both. Well, I haven't missed a prediction yet.
That's true, but you don't have a shiny light on you.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
so yours don't count.
Alright, you can have the spotlight right now.
Nah, it's fine.
Okay, but now
I don't enjoy the spotlight.
Liar. But now we talk about the game Geek Fam versus Ownage. It's going to be a great upcoming game because Geek Fam and Ownage in particular, they're so close to each other and either of them could knock each other out because a 2-0 here could be very, very dangerous for either team here. Neither one of these teams wants to see a 2-0 unless it's for them, right?
Yeah.
So, Saya, let's talk about this upcoming game here. How close is it and what's exactly at stake? Like, talk about the two teams for me.
We've witnessed the 3 series before from the previous matches, right? I think this is the match where both have to have that needle in a haystack kind of situation where both teams have to fight for their literally lives here because it's at stake. Their positions are at stake. Also, the security of that to be actually part of the playoffs.
And so, Midnight, I'm going to bring this to you because I want to ask, you've come from a background of professional gaming yourself. So what's it like, I mean, from professional coaching at the very least.
Hashtag spotlight.
Yeah.
Oh,
now the spotlight, guys, this way. Now, but
What's the question?
The question is, so coming from your own background, in your personal experience, what's it like to be playing, what do you think it's going to be like to be playing in this high intensity situation where you're all tense, you're all trying to figure out whether you can make it or not. What's that emotion like coming into this?
It's quite hard. Let's put it out there. But I always say to my to my players that you just need to reset your mentality because if you think about this matchup, it's gonna cost you your life. You're not gonna be you might be playing into your best potential, but there might be a chance that you would be playing worse.
Yeah.
So if you want to be in a very comfortable spot, just think about it as practice.
Yeah,
yes, you might lose, you might win, but at the same time, you just put out your best.
True.
Right? You never know because the slightest thing can set you off and then just absolutely make you perform like God level or actually the complete opposite, which is definitely what you don't want. So I think it's a lot about having good leadership at this point. You have to have good leadership that can calm you down, that can tell you to play at your A game and to sort of motivate you under pressure. Because when you're feeling that pressure and you don't have a handle on it, you're just going to go like all over the place.
You go haywire. And of course, like what you both have said, both teams here will be facing not just a physical struggling of playing, but also their mental capacity and actually focus.
Yeah.
Especially in times of danger or when, let's say when one turns out for the other. It clearly depends on how they could still win the game even though all the turrets are destroyed or maybe the ties are not in their favor.
Yeah, so think about, like, let me paint a picture for the audience at home here. So if you are in this high intensity gaming, let's say it's like both 1-1 and you both need this win, and there's like one tower standing between you and the pressure is on, the pressure is immense. That's when you have to see the amount of professionalism that you have to have as a player. You have to be able to weather that away. You have to weather it away and be able to survive that storm, you know?
Yeah.
But what does it take to be able to survive that kind of tension, pressure?
Well, it's the environment that you create. Before everything is, under the table for you, you need to create a healthy environment.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, yes, you might be in a very good spot, you might be in a bad spot, but it's important to establish this culture wherein even if you're in this kind of position, you would always get the feeling that you're in a very comfortable spot.
Yeah.
So it's the reason why teams does team building. They always play with each other. It's important to establish a connection between the players and the relationship, the dynamics. It's because of the healthy environment.
Which is where a good leader is absolutely important.
Truly.
So you talk about people who have experience. Case in point, I think the biggest example we can bring out right now is Why Not, right? Let's talk about Why Not for a second, because in those situations, you look to a player who has experience and leadership skills like Why Not to deliver his team to the next stage, right? Do either of you want to talk about Why Not right now?
Well, we both know that he's one of the most veteran players here.
Probably the most.
Yeah, probably the most.
Because he has experience, not just ML.
Yes, truly. And not just ML in general, but in most MOBA games, So he has this common ground where he's already familiar with what to do. And the best thing that I think Why Not's doing right now is to spread that knowledge to his players and to his teammates so that they could create a very concrete kind of strategy when they're already in game.
Yeah, and it's not just experience, but it's the, the being in there, the situation.
Just him being there is like, Why Not's here, he's got us.
And
he has experience.
Of course, his experience, every situation, every tight spot that he's been in his life is gonna ooze out to his players, wherein they see this figure where...
Inspiring confidence
everywhere.
Yes.
If they're under the situation and they see him relax and smiling, it's going to ooze out energy.
I hate to say this, but it's very like anime. Like, you see somebody's like, oh, he's here. I'm inspired now to be my best player.
The anime energy, right?
With
the zone.
The sparklings and stuff around you.
And then you just kind of get motivated, and that hopefully will get you a win, right? So that's one factor that we can definitely consider. So you talk about the emotional aspect, you talk about the leadership, we've talked about that, but let's bring it down. Let's break it down in terms of the individual performances of these players. Let's talk about their mechanics right here. All across the board, this is what I see. Ownage has the skill. But at the same time, Geek Fam has the leadership and the strategy. This is going to be a very different set of teams to go up against each other. It's going to be very hard to predict what's going to happen.
I like how you plays it out. Geek Fam with the strategy and mechanics. Ownage with the skill. We've seen last week how Ownage dealt with the individual skill of EVOS PH, and that is what the name of the game for Ownage. Just beat the better players. For Geek Fam, you have this amazing rotations created by Why Not, and you have this vast amount of knowledge wherein he can devise a lot of strategies. We've been seeing Geek Fam put out since week 1. Although they've fallen into a slump, last week's performance against ONIC, mind you, against ONIC was stellar.
So even if I don't think they won that, right? They didn't win that.
They won one game.
They won one game.
The only reason that ONIC won is because of the fact that they threw the game.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Despite that, there still was a number of great showings. So which just goes to show that this is a very, very difficult upcoming match to predict, simply because of how on the opposite ends of the spectrum they are in terms of play style, right? So for me, the matchup is going to be, Geek Fam can try to outsmart, but if at every single moment Ownage is outplaying you, then it's not going to matter what kind of strategies you have. But at the same time, if you've got all the talent in the world and Geek Fam can outsmart you, it's going to be the opposite way. So it's going to be a toss-up here, and I think it's all going to be about form. But speaking of form, let's break down these players. Take a look. These are the players of Geek Fam PH. Why Not? Curtizi, Kim&Joben, Escanor, and Gio is here. I think Midnight, you do have something a little bit to say about the Geek Fam roster.
Well, it's based on the players themselves. Curtizi, one of the fastest farming marksmen out there. Kingpin, one of the most consistent, next to probably Wise and UG as a mage, and flexible as well. Dogman, very high impact player, a lot of plays on Geek Fam PH. So if we're considering that Ownage, they have a lot of skills, you'll be surprised how Geek Fam PH can actually deal with the skill of Ownage.
They have it if they want it, but that's not the focus of their playstyle.
Exactly.
Now, I'm going to bring this question to you. I do want to know what your opinion is. They have two very, very different playstyles as a team. What do you think is a more prevalent one and a more powerful tool to use in terms of a tournament setting? Do you want to be in a team that is sort of known to be more tactical, or somebody who just plays out of their minds?
For my opinion, I'm more of a planner kind of person, so let's go with the one that goes with rotations and strategies. But at the same time, the ones that go crazy are the ones that make the most miracle of all
that's true.
playstyles.
It's exciting.
So, in my opinion here, it's really hard to judge who's going to be triumphant here. But what the last judgment tournament for everyone here, for all the teammates, is about execution to the game. Because if you have a crazy mind, regardless, but if you can't really execute it in game, it's not gonna pull off. Same thing with the strategy. If you do an initial strategy but fail to actually
execute it,
it's not gonna work out for either of the teams.
And we are only going to be able to find out exactly what that is once we go into the draft, once we go into the game itself, if they have the game plans. But in the meantime, let's talk about Ownage here. Coming up on your screens, that's going to be the roster. That's going to be Lard, CKTD, Lembot, Bimo, Nixu, and Inyal. Now, Inyal, of course, is going to be the sixth man of them, but he rotates in and out. Let's talk about the individual skill that they've got. These guys are absolutely insane. They're monsters. They are some of the most gifted players that we have in the entire country in terms of individual skill.
I was actually surprised that Inyal surpassed expectations. He came from a lot of teams that have been playing outside tournaments, smaller tournaments, but when he came on the board of Ownage ship, he brought up a good performance last week on that Harith. And, you know, you would never expect that kind of performance from such a player. And again, we've been talking about how Ownage has been doing very good just because of sheer individual skill. And with Inyal in this roster, you have a lot of time to prepare for Geek&PH. I'm expecting a lot of strategies as well from them.
How big a surprise? We all know, ladies and gentlemen, that Ownage used to come from the same organization as Arkangel. No longer. But how much of a surprise is it that Ownage is actually the team that's qualifying for the playoffs, very close to at least, and Arkangel is going to be the one who looks like they're going to be eliminated anytime soon?
It's quite sad. It's basically like the Bren, eSports, and No Limit / Sunsparks story, but this is much worse because one of the teams is going to get eliminated.
And one of the teams was the previous champion.
Exactly. It's either Arkangel or Geek Fam. Because I believe the only situation right now is if Signal is eliminated, it's either Ownage or Geek Fam. If Arkangel is eliminated, it's either Geek Fam or Signal Ultra.
But if Signal Ultra comes in, I think both of these guys go home. I will double check on those statistics later, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. In the meantime, of course, quick shout out and quick thank you to our sponsors. Of course, none other than Moonshine, our game